You're supposed to appreciate your exes. I want my exes to do good. I never understand when people get mad.
You know what I learned from that relationship though?
What?
I learned that I only confront issues and try to work on things when I'm wanting to stay with a person and I see the potential to stay with a person. And if I'm about to be done with it, then I stop confronting the issues. And when I find some shit out, I say nothing. I just use it as fuel to mentally leave the relationship before I physically do.
You know, that's with everything. All relationships work like that. Yeah. When someone stops caring and trying to make arguments with you, that's when you know.
Oh no, I was like broken to fucking pieces, but I also recognize that he totally gaslit me every time I would find some shit out. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna say shit anymore.
What did you find out?
Bitches.
Don't you think?
Not bitches. He was the bitch. Other women.
No. There sounds like there's some resentment in there.
Oh, absolutely. Like if you
miss
do
him, don't you?
something. No, not at all.
Not at all?
No. Because it was a whole, I feel like the relationship.
You're getting to that age where you're starting to look back at relationships. You know, because before you didn't know.
What I do miss was my high school relationship, the concept of my high school relationship, high school sweetheart.
What the fuck does that mean? Yeah.
The idea of, not necessarily the idea, the experience that I had with my high school sweetheart. Even though I don't have like feelings for him or romantic feelings for him.
You missed the puppy love. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I think that's what they mean. Love is wasted on the young, because when you're young, your world is that other person.
Toxic ass, I'll do anything for you kind of love.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't like a bitch, he'd trip her kind of love. If I told him burn down the school, if you love me, he'd burn down the fucking school.
That's why it's so dangerous.
Let's die together type shit. It was horrible. And it was
that's what makes it great.
Phenomenal at the same time.
I know. I think that's what makes high school love so dangerous. Is like, I don't know.
It was great.
Is that you feel like your world is them, without them it's nothing. But then you grow up and you realize that it's just like, what was I doing? That was so stupid. Yeah. I'd look the same way back. They say there's three loves of your life. Your first one is obviously just like your high school puppy love. Your second one is the one where you grow the most and like you learn how to work out relationships. And then your third one is the one where you actually know what you're doing and it's your long term, like you're gonna marry this person love.
Wow, and the third one definitely hasn't come along.
Yeah, I know, right?
I feel like I had my first love one time and I've had my second love like 4 times.
Yeah, same. But you put the category same, right? Like, but you know it's the same thing. It's like, it was like toxic. We're still working it out. So maybe the next one, I feel like I'm at that stage where it's like now it's gonna be like the forever, whatever that person comes. At least I know. I feel like now I actually have an idea of what I'm looking for, you know?
I feel like I'm having a huge idea of everything that I don't want.
A huge idea of everything you don't want?
That I don't want.
You don't have any idea of what you do want?
I have several ideas of what I do want, purely default because of all the shit that I'm not okay with.
Let me hear what you do want. Please don't say big penis.
No, because I've come across big penises that assume that they're great at lovemaking because they have big dicks, and turns out that most people with big dicks are probably fucking whack.
Why do you say that?
Because I've dealt with a micro penis.
You know, it's the same thing.
Not a micro penis, but a fairly small penis that like put it down.
Oh, really?
Because they put so much effort into everything.
Oh, that's great.
Because they're insecure that they can perform purely off of size.
Dude, give that guy a shout out. Be like, yo, my man.
No.
I'm kidding. I get it. Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Hey. Yo, we see you out there doing your thing. You might
not touch my little.
Hey, that's funny because the last podcast, if you go listen to it, we were literally talking about this exact. So we talked about like, what would you rather be, bald or with small dick, or have hair and like have bald with a big dick, or have hair with a smaller, not a tiny dick, but a smaller dick. And then both guys, I think they said smaller dick and hair, and I was like, oh really?
Yeah,
I was like, I
guys have more insecurity about being bald.
Yeah, I know, right? But I was like, I don't really think.
But I mean, like, you have a nice shape head.
That's what everyone says. You know, that it's weird is that people ask me more often or than not is like, do you shave your head just cuz, or do you have like, are you actually bald naturally? It's like, how do you not? I guess they can't tell. They're like, yeah, you looks good on.
Yeah,
everyone says
I don't
that. It looks
feel
good
like
on.
Your head looks patchy or anything, but I've also seen pictures of you with hair, and maybe because I'm so accustomed to seeing it,
that's
I'm
what
just
people
like,
say.
You don't belong with hair.
That's what people say.
But also the dude that I was talking to recently, I've seen pictures of him with hair, and he's bald. He looks so much better with bald, and he looks more manly bald. Same thing with Sal, my director. Like I met him with hair, and I'm just like, he looks more. I guess that's
true.
Bald.
Whenever I thought it, I can't even picture which Sal would look with hair. Yeah, I know.
Y'all got like lumpy ass heads. And all of y'all got good beards.
Yeah. Sal, I feel like I think Sal looks good with his bald head too.
Yeah,
I was like, I never even thought about that.
I've seen very few people that look good bald and barefaced, as opposed to people with beards that have good shaped heads and bald. They look great.
Yeah.
But like, as far as the dick thing goes, like, I remember my most recent ex, like, we fucked on the first date.
Why would you say that on video on a podcast?
No one knows who I'm talking about.
That's true. Well, that's true. But the guy,
we first date had car sex, and I thought he was like this. He's such a.
Does this guy not own a house? Nice. How old is he? What does it matter with you? Aren't you too old for dude? You're too old for car sex. Look. I don't. If someone was like,
I'm like, I have standards.
Okay. What does that mean? Standards. Oh, but a car sex is not a standard to you. What are you talking about?
Hey, look. I hadn't got laid. I don't know how long. I fell in love with this dude over a phone call. I was just like, Jabus, if you real, I'm Bob. Put it down.
This guy must have been one hell of a phone call, conversationalist. What are you talking about a phone call? How long?
Sweet. He was a gentleman, and I was just like, gentleman. And then we kissed for the first time on our first date, and I'm not someone who's cool with anybody kissing me on the first date. Mm-hmm. And he did. Well, no, I'm sorry. I attacked him. I kissed him.
He jumped on him. You just said that phone call just got me in it, girl, and just turned into a went on him.
Makeout session, and that makeout session was really intense. And I realized he wasn't as innocent as he looked, and I was just like, oh shit. And then we ended up kissing again, but we kept trying to avoid it because we're just like, first date, let's not do that.
Right.
And but yeah, shit got really, really intense, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And one thing led to another, and it happened pretty fast, but not the act, but we ended up getting into it.
You said it was the first date. What do you mean? That is fast. What are you talking about?
That's what I mean. Like that night, like how long it took from point A to point B.
That's a few hours. What are you talking about?
I know.
This is not your.
But anyways,
your brain not making any sense at all right
now. I was the aggressor, and he was attempting not to be the aggressor because I had expressed how much I love that he's a gentleman.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, gentleman, just like it turns you on.
I've got two stories to tell you, and I'm gonna try to remember them all. I'm not cut you off. Okay, go ahead.
So what happened was me being the aggressor after he expressed consent. I put my hand in his pants, and I didn't expect to find what I found, and it was a lot. And my thought wasn't like, oh, thank God I got a mandingo dick here. My mind was just like, oh no, this is a big dick. What if he thinks he knows what he's doing and doesn't, because society's told him that big dick means you're a great lover, and therefore he's never actually worked on learning how to make love to a woman.
Yeah.
And this was the first encounter I ever had where big dick energy.
How big are we talking? I mean, I'm just curious. I want to know what a big dick is to you now. What do you consider a big dick to be? Because I don't know. I mean, my big dick idea might be bigger.
Like in girth and
okay.
And I was just like, what the fuck?
Was he a big guy, or was he just like, weird? I've heard that. It doesn't matter. It's just like genetics. That's so crazy, right? Wow.
I've been with huge dudes. Average dudes.
Yeah. I've seen.
Probably the most smallest frame person that I've been with, and
wow. Was he's obviously Latin, Puerto Rican, probably, if I were to guess.
He's not Puerto Rican. I will never date a Puerto Rican. Because I am Puerto Rican.
Latin. He's Latin.
And I don't want to fuck my cousin.
He's Latin.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
He's Latino. And, but yeah, and the first time I've ever come by, maybe because he's so, like, innocent and sweet, and I feel like I demolished that.
Wait, how old is he?
He's older than I am.
Why would you assume that he's
because he's so sweet, he's so nice, he's such a gentleman, he's so kind, he treated me like a fucking princess, I swear, and a fucking queen, and that's how I felt on his throne. So it was phenomenal, and it's the first time I ever came across like mandingo situation, and that it was actually phenomenal.
Do one of these. Tell me. No way. Get the fuck out of here. I don't.
We've been away from
okay,
each
all right,
other
stop. I don't want to. You know what? I was just joking, and then you were like, I was like, oh my god, I don't know what I would have done if I was you. I was like, Jesus.
I don't know how he has pants as tight as he does, but Lord bless him.
My back was messed up for days afterwards. That's hilarious, though.
One of my brothers, he's like, my brother specifically told him, yeah, he is a dancer. Can you please not put my sister in a wheelchair? And I said, fuck that. Put me in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Okay, that's too much. Back up. I have kissed a girl before, and she literally said to me after I kissed her, she goes, oh, thank God you kiss well. And I was like, what the hell does that mean? And she's like, I don't know. I remember she goes, it would have just been so disappointing because you seem so cool. And it would have been, she said that to me, she was like, it would have been so disappointing if you didn't kiss well, because you seemed like a guy that would, and if you wouldn't, I would have been like the biggest disappointment of all. And I was like, she's like more than a normal guy, because I don't expect a normal guy to kiss well, but I would expect you to kiss well. I was like, I
had such a great like first date bond with not my high school sweetheart, the guy I dated afterwards, rapper dude, and it was so good, and I was so into him, and our first kiss was horrible. And he had the audacity to call me after he dropped me off at home to ask me how it was. And it was horrible. And the sad part is he was actually a total waste of dick.
Okay, Jesus.
He was Mandigo.
This is going to have an adult supervision video.
Probably.
My gosh.
Anybody under the age of 15 probably shouldn't.
But you were young. Yeah, everyone's horrible. I remember, I know for specifically.
He had Mandigo dick. He couldn't kiss and he couldn't fuck. And I'm just like, why do you have this piece on you? Like, it's such a waste of dick.
Just bad rhythm?
Just everything. Like... everything.
That's
but
disappointing.
Like whenever I was about to leave him, or like we were on a break or whatever the fuck, the makeup sex was phenomenal, and that's the only time it was ever phenomenal.
He was angry sex?
No, he just thought I was gonna leave him.
So
I guess he actually tried.
This one I gotta do, huh? All right, fine,
like,
fair enough.
It was depressing. I was like, wow, I didn't know you could. My high school experience with sex was phenomenal. I think
I don't want to hear about your high school sex stories. Okay, please, please spare me of this.
In high school, here's the reality. As a girl, you're probably sucking dick.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be having sex in high school, though. I didn't have sex in high school.
Just because you did it doesn't mean you don't have to.
I was a gentleman.
I apologize that you didn't get a phenomenal experience until after school, but. I'm sorry.
I had a girlfriend in high school. I do regret not having sex with her, but yeah, I guess I do regret not having sex with her.
I think there's something phenomenal about losing your virginity to somebody that you have that you like.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I regret. But like who knows? So then so many times it turns out to being a kid, and then you're like, then your whole life's no offense to people.
I would have. It
wouldn't have been.
I was already like little adult situation, but I was. I think I was like 18 though. I was already like 18, and he was like 19. And we consented with each other. He had already had a prior experience, thank God. And because of that, I was so grateful that I didn't lose my virginity to another virgin.
What? No, that's
because
not
he
true.
knew it. No, I was opened up to experience myself.
Oh, gotcha.
So I felt very safe, really comfortable, and I was never forced to do anything. I was never manipulated into doing anything.
Who gets for? I mean, I guess.
But girls in high school, like they feel so obligated to do so much shit. And like I said, girls are constantly sucking dick in high school. They ain't getting
you went to a different high school than I went to. I went to white people. I went to white people high school. We did not like.
So
it was okay to like. My thing was like you were okay if you had a girlfriend, but if you didn't, or the people I hung out with, I don't know about the people like I don't know about the other parties, but like it would be unusual for someone just to hook up with random people because everybody would hear about it the next day. Yeah, because everybody would know about it, and then they would be like, oh, she hooked up with this guy.
Well, I went to like huge ass schools.
Yeah, I went to a big school too. I think I don't remember 1,000 people in my graduating class.
But like even in middle school, people were fucking, and I was just like,
that's
what? That's crazy.
That's not a thing in my. That's not a thing in my middle school.
I didn't lose my virginity until like I think like senior year.
I didn't even know who knows what sex is. Honestly don't even think I knew what sex was in high school. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't even think so.
What? You didn't fiddle your pickle?
I think maybe if it did, it probably started like 8th grade year, maybe, or like 9th grade year, but like not before that.
Did you watch porn? Anything?
I was before the internet. So I'm back in the day, so no, it's not like we had. It's not like you had an iPhone.
I was watching porn at like 12 years old.
People didn't start having computers in their house. Like people started using the internet more and more when I was like in high school, like freshman, sophomore year. That's when computers really started to take off. And like when I got a cell phone my junior year in high school, and that's when everybody started getting cell phones. I remember my first cell phone was a Razor, and that was like the cool phone that everybody had. And that's like I got that. That was my first phone when I was a junior in high school.
I had the Cricket, limited everything, and no camera.
So that's how old school I am. That's how old school I am. But the thing you said about the big dick and like not having to try, it's the same. It made me think of the same thing with like hot girls. Like their personalities are usually the worst personalities. Like you might as well just talk to a brick wall, because this girl she's never had to give effort into any, because guys will just hit on them and just everyone's just trying to talk to them, right? So they don't have to be interesting at all, because everybody just wants to even be around them, just to be friends with them. Like especially now, like it's cool to be with a hot chick. It is like, but if you talk to them, it's like, this is the worst, most dumb thing I've ever.
He specifically said that any girl that if you were to rate them on the 0 to 10 scale,
0 to hot,
that
crazy.
like
that, you know about, we literally talked about this last podcast.
Plenty of 10s.
We literally just talked about this.
And all his 10s, any 10 that he's ever hooked up with, like they ain't shit in bed. But all of like the 8s, like they can variate and they're usually like dope as fuck.
Yeah.
But like girls who think that they ain't shit, they either one suck in bed or they're phenomenal and they have no gray area.
I heard, don't quote me on this, I heard the best is a girl that used to be big and then is now skinny, because they still have big girl mentality, but now they're hot, and so they don't know that they're hot. I feel like dude, there's a lot. I heard they're the best.
Culture of being like Black Latina, Afro Latina.
Yeah.
I feel like a big girl, she throw it down.
Oh, dude.
Like she put it down.
Here's the thing that white guys don't understand when they're like, I want a Latino. Like, you don't understand. They will fight you. Like you, if you think you upset that girl and she won't punch you in the face, let me tell you something. She will punch you in the face. And she's not. And if, she will. Yeah. That's why the guy's like, I want a Latino. No, you don't. I don't think you understand the headache. There's plenty of times where I was like, I want to say something to you right now, but I'm pretty sure if I say this, you're gonna punch me. So I'm not gonna say it now because there's nothing I can do. You know, it's just it's like no, it's like you just gotta walk away. Like even if you're writing the argument, you can't like you're gonna get punched in the face. You say the fucked up things. So it's like I don't understand.
I say that you're right.
I know I'm right. Trust me. I mean that's why like dancers. Well, that's one of the reasons why, but that's one of the reasons I don't thought that's dude. Yeah. That's not what it. No. That's not it at all.
I'm fucking dead. That's hilarious.
Another thing is the last girl I talked to, I was like, or not the last girl, but a girl I talked to recently within the last year. I was like, we were kind of friends, like in the same friend group, and like I was like, let's hang out, just you and me. So we hung out a few times, and I think I was just like trying to be gentlemanly and take it extra slow, right? So we went out and hung out like 2 or 3 times before I never even like kissed her or anything. And I definitely had the opportunity, but I was like, I don't know, we'll wait until like whatever, like till the moment's right? Or like, and then the next time we did hung out, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to kiss her tonight. It's just 1-on-1. And we get done to the end of the night, and she goes, she says to me point blank, she goes, you're not gonna try to kiss me, are you? And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, you just waited too long. I'm not into it anymore. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, you were just too slow. I was waiting for you to make your move. I was like, this is like I was like, this is the 3rd time we've hung out. You can say it to my face like that? Like you could just like you could have just not said it. You could have not said it. What is dude, I just said I was trying. What happened to being a gentleman earlier? You loved phone calls, good amount, but hanging out 3 times is not.
We also fucked in the car after our first date.
That's not being a gentleman. That's what I'm saying.
He was a gentleman. I was the aggressor. I was not being a gentle.
Maybe she was. Maybe I missed my mark.
I think here's the misconception.
No, it was there was an opportunity there, but I felt like I was like, I'm gonna force this. Like it doesn't like it was like late. It was like we had already like been out like and things weren't working out. Like there was other people. Like it's a hard complicated situation. But there was like it was awkward. It's like by the time we got alone, I was like, dude, it's like real late in the night. I'm tired. I'm like it's like let's just go to sleep, And then the next time we hung out and she was I was like done. So it wasn't ever like if I did, I felt like I would have been trying to force it, and I was like, I'm not gonna force this. I'd rather just go to bed, you know. And then I was like, we'll hang out again, and then hopefully it'll happen then. And by that time, it was just like, nah, that ain't happening. I was like, all right, well,
wow,
yeah, I know.
I mean, I think
I've never been so offended in my life. I was like, look, bitch, I'm trying to be nice. I could have thrown it down the first time. I know. I was like, bitch, if you want to be,
if you don't want to do it the first time,
if
you don't want to do the first time, which like it's different because anytime that kisses happen the first time, it's because I intended the kiss. Usually, anytime it's happened the second or third time, it's because the ex person did it.
But you realize that most girls aren't going to do that.
What
right?
I appreciated though is the last person that kissed me actually. And that I didn't kiss, actually the last person I kissed, the person before that that kissed me, they asked if they could kiss me.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not a fucking bozo. I'm not gonna ask you, hey, can I kiss you? Oh,
no,
what
not
fucking
like that.
weird is that? Yeah.
No, it's cute because like you're face to face and you're just like and you're like right here, but you also like you never want to pressure anybody, so it's just like,
all right.
Can I kiss you? And just like, hell yes, you can kiss me. Or that gives like the green light. It's better
I'd rather.
Sorry, consent's hot.
I'd rather you push your face away. At least I know that way, rather than be like, and then I ask you. Other than I ask you if I can kiss you, just straight up say to my face and just say no.
Not gonna push you away because she doesn't want things to be awkward for you, and she feels bad, so she'll allow you to kiss her even if she doesn't want to kiss you.
Why would you do that? You just kiss random. You just let a random dude. No, I wouldn't kiss somebody that I want to kiss.
Dude.
I know, but I wouldn't kiss.
You did want it up until that point. Then you're just like, no. But then you're just like, oh, I'm gonna be a bitch. Rather than be this and I'm gonna be that. It happens all the time.
I don't think I've ever done that. So I don't think I've ever let someone kiss me if I didn't want to kiss them.
But everybody's different. Fight, flight, or freeze response.
Yeah. And what do you just freeze, or you just?
It depends on the situation. Yeah.
Love is hard, man. I don't know. Love is hard. Who knows? This is all.
Like if I'm going on a date with someone and I'm intentionally like,
that's the thing. There's no right or wrong answer. It's all just guessing.
Everybody's just different.
We're all just guessing here.
Each two people are going to connect completely different than the next two people.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what's wild about it.
Well, I haven't connected with anyone in a while. I'll tell you that one. And I'm upset about it if you can't tell. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I heard Houston got ranked on, what was it? It was like some article.
Like top 55 places
for single? Yeah. And I saw this, I was like, bullshit. I was like, how hard is it everywhere else? I was like, bullshit. I was like, I didn't even read the articles. I don't want to hear your stupid. I'm sure some like stupid, like just like trying to make noise or get clicks. I was like, I don't know why you think like, I should have read it, what it was based off of, but I was hilarious. Like, I don't think so. I think the girls here are, I don't know what it is. I think they're more conservative. Maybe there are better looking girls here. I'll give them that. Like, we have hotter girls here.
Houston's also a very diverse city.
Yeah, we're very diverse. I'll give you that. But we have I think we got this old school, like, conservative mentality. Like, if you go out, like, if you see a group of girls, yeah, you could try to talk to them, but they're not, like, gonna, like, talk to you, you know, unless you like, know them. Bye. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we got some tribe mentality.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like a weird vibe like that. I've noticed that, like, it's like an old school, like, trying to be proper here in Texas. I feel like you go to New York or like California, they don't give a fuck, you know?
Dude, you know what happened in New York?
Yeah, let me hear it.
I was dancing bachata with a guy. And then he asked me to dance again later on in the night.
Ooh.
And, you know, we usually have like head-to-head connection.
Yeah, I know how it works.
Bachata.
Yeah, I know how it works.
I didn't have head-to-head connection with him. I had nose to temple. Like, he was like on my fucking temple. And he's like, I've never seen you around here before. And I was like, I'm not from here. And he goes, where are you from? And
why don't you get your face?
I'm like,
sir.
I'm here to see my brother, and I keep doing this, and he keeps like nosing, and I'm just like,
why is his nose in your
watching me, and I'm gonna look like such a bitch if I walk away from this dance, and I'm just like, and I kid you not, my head could have touched the floor by the time he realized that I was uncomfortable with his nose on my fucking.
Why was he putting his nose on your face?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't have a fucking napkin, and he thought this was a great place to wipe. I don't fucking know. That was so, and he's just like, oh my gosh, Texas, take me back to Texas with you. I'm like, I don't think my dude would appreciate that. And then he goes, oh, well, I'll spend all my savings to be with you. You ever heard that before? I'm like, yes. And then I walked away. I'm like, oh, my brother's calling me. And I just like roll off of his nose and then walk away.
That's hilarious. Have you ever, really I've never had a situation like that. I've gotten really good.
You've never had a man's nose on your temple?
Shut up. You know what I meant. I never had a girl's face. Like, First of all, I realize I don't like people in my private space. If I know you, I'll do like the cheek to cheek. If I know you, but if it's like a random person I've never danced with before, yeah, I'll dance bachata. But yeah, I'm keeping my distance. Sweating. Even when, or
my eyebrows have to be like made up on every day. So
don't touch my eyebrows. Oh, those you draw them on.
I've had people not give like head to cheek connection, or, like, but like they've like all over here, and I've had somebody like face roll me, not just body roll me, face roll me, and I kid you not, little pieces of my eyebrows were left on their face, and I was so upset because I lost my setting spray that day, which means there was nothing to keep my eyebrows down. And I'm. Do
you not have real eyebrows at all? Or you draw them on by yourself?
I have like some, but it doesn't go all the way out here because of my scars, and right here it's just thin anyways. On top of that, I got microblading done.
Yeah, you should get. Yeah. Oh, that's
and they fucked me up. So,
really?
Yeah, they fucked me up. So
well, why'd you get it for free? Yeah, you gotta go pay for that
shit. Because she wanted to do some of her portfolio.
Didn't turn out right.
No.
Sucks.
And so I'm traumatized. I'm just gonna paint. I'm a Picasso for the rest of my life.
Yeah. They look good now. I can't tell anything. You can't tell your eyebrows are fucked up.
I have a different emotion.
For anyone that doesn't know, Yaya is what would you call yourself? A traveling professional dance instructor?
Not traveling professional dance instructor.
You were just a dance instructor? Yeah, for salsa and bachata. I would say, if I had to rank you, based on everything I've seen, I would say you're probably top 20 in Houston, probably top 100 in the U.S., I would guess. If I were to guess,
I'd say under 20 in Houston. Not to bust my bubble.
Who do you? All right.
And I'm not.
Yeah, that's probably true. All right. No, that's probably true. That's probably true. That's probably true. But
it also depends on what is it that you're defining.
No, no, just all around. No, we're talking. Well, no. Yeah, I would say. I would say styling wise, and styling wise for sure. No, there's no question about it. Styling wise, you got it. You're definitely one of probably, top 5, I guess, in Houston. And then you're a really good instructor too. You know how the thing that makes a good instructor is you have to explain to the detail like what it feels like. And like you're gonna have to put your hand here, and turn it here. You're gonna feel this pressure here. Mm-hmm. If you don't feel that, it's off here.
Yeah,
that's why, because it's the little details. Well. It's the little details that make you a good instructor.
People who they work audibly, verbally,
right?
But you have some people that are extremely visual,
and
you have people who are straight up kinesthetic. Like, I need to put your leg where it belongs, and then explain to you what this picture needs to look like, and then I need you to do that a million times before your muscle memory can absorb it.
I'm the person where like I can tell like if it doesn't feel right, I can feel it. I can be like, this doesn't feel right. What am I doing wrong where this doesn't feel as smooth as it should feel? And like that's it. You just gotta be like, well, it feels like this and it should feel like this. Well, you're not putting your arm here, like raise your arm or push here.
So you're a bit kinesthetic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm really kinesthetic. For about a solid 3 years, I was very kinesthetic, and it took me that long to be able to absorb verbal and visual instruction.
Yeah, I can barely.
I was the most difficult student.
I can barely do visual because I get lost. So I mean, if you do it, you'll have to do it a few times. And I'm not a visual person. I can't just see what someone's doing and then do it. You have to stop, show me step by step what you're doing, and then I be able to do it. I can't just look at you dancing and then be able to do it.
That's the thing about the dance community. We live in a show and tell type of dance.
Yeah, I know, right? So since I've been in it, I feel like it's changed so much. Like it's just so much different with these young people. It's just like, I don't know. I think
it's always been show and tell.
Yeah, but it's always
people who break anything down.
Yeah, but it's like everyone just wants to be good now. Like no one wants to practice. Like no one wants to, it's just like all about it's like the same thing with everything else. It's all about the gram. Like show me what it looks.
Marketed
as, that's what it is.
Everything's marketed as come learn how to dance salsa X boot course.
Yeah.
Or boot camp or course.
Yeah, and it's like you're not gonna learn. Like, dude, I've been dancing for years. Like, I barely know how to dance. I barely know how to do anything. I've been
training for 7, 8, but still every day I'm learning something new. And my director, my mentor, he's been for almost 20 years and still every day he's learning something. I don't believe
that. That I don't believe. I don't think so.
He used to be a b-boy.
What is a b-boy?
A breakdancer.
What? I used to be a b-boy?
And when he was like 16, 17, he met my parents at a club that he snuck into. And he saw my mom dancing with my uncle. And that was one of his first inspirations.
That's so crazy they know each other like that. For those that don't know, Salomon, what's Sal's last name?
Salomon Amaya.
Salomon Amaya. Has a dance studio here. One of the best here in Houston, I think. I love his styling. He's my favorite guy dancer style-wise. Probably one of the best. Well, for sure the best in Houston. I just love his style because he's the smoothest. For sure, to me, he's the smoothest, and I think he looks the best. It's like the way I like to dance is I like to dance with no effort. I hate it when girls are like, oh, just push and pull. It's like, dude, I don't like doing that. Because it doesn't look good, and it feels good. That's also how you hurt somebody, you know. Thanks. And so that's why I think Sal's got to probably, to me, the best. I love his styling the most, the best teacher. So if you're
his styling or his aesthetic,
both. I like both. Yeah, like I said, I like the zero effort look. And it's hard to dude, it's hard to do.
Someone told me, they're like, I want to learn how to dance like Sal. I want to look like him when I dance. I'm like, what is it that you want to look like? Because I want to look expensive.
Yeah, dude, that is a perfect. Yeah, he looks. Yeah, that's
and
exactly.
Now he's training on our training team, and he's like, how do I look? I'm like, you look expensive.
Dude, that is literally a great way. Yeah, he does look expensive. Yeah, he does look. Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's what it looks G as fuck. Yeah, that's what it looks G as fuck. It's like, dude, that guy looks smooth as hell. Yeah. But I tell everybody that it's funny that everybody whenever they see me dance, or like I have people when I'm at Fabian's or Tropicana, they come up to me and they see me dance bachata. They're like, hey, can you teach me how to dance bachata? I was like, dude, it's taken me 5 years. Like, I don't teach. I can give you the place to do it. But they always like, oh, just teach me in a weekend. It's like, dude, that's not how it works, man. I've been dancing for a long time, homie. Yeah, I know. But they're like, oh, just teach me now. It's like, nah, that's not how this works, too. I've even had girls come up to me like, oh, I'm looking for a guy to teach me how to dance.
This is what I heard a friend of mine post on Facebook. The beautiful thing and the worst thing about being a dancer is that anyone can teach.
Yeah, that's true. Well, not that they should, but they can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not that they have a genuine capacity or capability or understanding, but yet everyone is a teacher now.
Yeah. But I think, on the backside of that is I think everyone should dance. It's the best. Dude, it's the best thing. How would you describe it? Why do you like dancing so much? I'll tell you why I love dancing so much, and you tell me why you love dancing so much.
Okay, you go first.
The reason I love dancing, there's so many reasons. All right, the first reason is it's great for your brain. It's great. It helps you with your hand-eye coordination. I think it keeps you sharp. It's a great exercise. You get to meet a bunch of fun people. You get to travel. Like you go to other salsa congress. It's like you're part of a group. No matter where you go, I can go to New York and I'll go to a dance studio and I'll dance, and I feel like I know these people, even though I don't, because we're all into this thing.
Yeah.
And it's like a community of people, good or bad thing that everybody knows everybody, but it's just good, clean fun. You're gonna have a good time no matter what. Just go out there, cut loose, and it's just a great exercise. Is good for your brain. It's nice, clean fun. You can meet people, and it's sexy. You can meet the opposite sex as well. Don't do that too much, but yeah, that's what I love about it. I don't know.
No, for sure. I think a huge charm of it is that you have thousands and thousands and thousands, maybe millions of people all over the world that are actually interested in it. Yeah. The mambo capital of the world is fucking Milan, Italy.
I did not know that.
Fucking Italy. Mambo Land, Croatia, China.
I do Croatia. I've seen the Croatia. I want to go to that Croatia
tour in China.
Dude, that Croatia thing looks dope. Dude, that looks dope as hell.
The Warsaw Festival just passed.
Dude, I want to go there one of these days. I always see videos like, dude, this looks huge. There's thousands of people there.
All over the fucking world.
Yeah.
And what trips me out and what I love so much about that charm and about that community and about our community is this is a part of my culture. This is a part of the history of my people. And everyone around the world, whether they like it or not, whether they know it or not, is partaking in a lot of things that have to do with my culture, from its language, its heritage, with its music, with whether it be Puerto Rican, Cuban, Dominican, Colombian. The entire world is learning our culture. And right now we're in a time, we have been in a time for fucking ever, where something is always being appropriated, something's always being suppressed, there's always a people being fucked with, And now that it's being brought to the attention of, hey, by the way, Black people, Latinos, indigenous people, they're going through some shit. And that's what I am. But guess what? Europe, they're paying to learn my culture.
They're paying to learn your stuff.
White people, Black people, Latino people, Asian people. They're paying to learn my culture. And they're asking the brown girl about it.
Yeah.
That's what's trippy. Is that I'm seeing every culture partake in learning and wanting to participate in the culture that came from my people.
Yeah.
That's magical to me. And that's probably the number one things that I love about being a dance instructor is this is the one spot where it's not a bad thing to be Black. It's not a bad thing to be Latino. It's not a bad thing to be brown. It's a great thing. If anything, people put you higher and higher on a pedestal.
Yeah, for sure.
From coming from the culture and teaching the culture.
That's great.
So I think that's pretty dope. But for me, it's probably the most euphoric experience that I could have.
Dude, it's the next best thing. I tell you, all right, it's the same thing that everyone says. You know, it's like chasing a high. If you get, I don't know what it is. Maybe you could describe it better. I'll try to explain it the best. Is when you get a dance with someone and it's like for a minute that you're dancing, like nothing else exists. It's like you're dancing on a cloud. Like it's perfect in that moment. And it's just you and that other person. You all share a connection. It's almost like sex, but way cleaner because it's not, right? And it's just like
sometimes it's better.
Sometimes it's better. Sometimes it really is. It's like I can't even describe it. It's a high you will never feel, and it's just like everything flows exactly as you want it to be. And in that moment, nothing else matters. It's great because you're right there and you're sharing connection with that person. And
that connection,
you can't even. And it's weird. Like it's a high. It's a high you can't even describe.
It's
like
an intimacy that you can't find anywhere.
Right?
Else.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And the thing about dancing, and also why I feel like it's therapeutic, and I have like an extreme case of PTSD. My father does. My mother does. And the thing is, like, we're people who like don't fucking touch us. My whole job is to be physically connected to another person. The fact that you have to anticipate each other's movements, there's a strong level of trust that has to be there to be able to create that connection. Whenever you're dancing, you're in unison and you're vibrating on the same frequency and you're flowing together as one unit, not two. And that is the closest that for me. And I'm a person who prefers like an extreme form of intimacy being sexual. When I'm dancing, that is the same level, if not sometimes more intimate than sex.
It is.
That being that I have no romantic connection to.
It's like your souls, your souls connect. When it's the right person, it's like they know what they're gonna do.
A person who I would have had a conversation with, probably gotten to know their brain and been like whatever, or met them in a random friend group and been like, okay, this is great. I dance with them.
Yeah.
And I'm more attracted to them after experiencing our connection dancing versus experiencing just our connection outside of dancing. There's people who I've come across multiple times and it's whatever. Not once did we ever initiate a genuine conversation until after dancing with each other. Yeah. Whether it be because friends, because something romantic, because of needing to network or something. The people who I've had a phenomenal connection with dancing with, I've developed a more trusting relationship with than the people who I either haven't danced with or haven't had a strong connection.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I think the way that you connect with a person dancing also says a lot about how you can connect as two different humans.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have to have a specific dynamic to it.
And I think sometimes it's just like you just have the same vibe. Like for whatever reason, like you and that person, for whatever reason, we just vibe well. We just work. I don't know why. For whatever reason, we just connect. And I don't know what it is, but something about you. It's like two pieces of a puzzle working together. It's
I work with couples who always have like a lot of mismatched shit. It shows up in their dancing. Anyone who's dominant in the relationship, you can see it in the dancing. You see so much of somebody's character when you experience them as a dancer and in that connection versus anything, and it says so much. So even people who like they get along but they can't get on the same flow, like there's a husband and wife that I'm working with right now, and when they dance they're always like stepping on each other's feet and everything, but they laugh about it. They're so different from each other, but in a way that it works.
Oh, okay.
But like they get on each other's nerves, but they laugh so much. It's like, well, I like this motherfucker. I'm gonna deal with his ass for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But like, fuck this nigga.
Yeah.
That's exactly how they are when they dance. Like they clash so much, but they think it's hilarious and they enjoy it.
Oh, that's
so they
good.
enjoy how much they clash in their relationship.
And how different they are.
And I see people who are in such harmony and the way they flow is so effortless that you would swear that they're this one being, and that's literally how they flow when they dance. And you see someone else where like one person is really handling everything, or there's a lot of stress and a lot of clashing, and it turns out that that's how the relationship generally is with each other as well. So when you look at friendships as well, you see that same connection into their dancing. And I think it says a lot about people as lovers, as humans, their maybe even the way that they love other people, how giving they are. It says a lot about them so intimately, the way that you can connect with someone through dancing versus sitting there and assuming that the conversation is what's going to let shit be.
Yeah, I would say, I was telling someone the other day, my first favorite thing about dancing is obviously dancing. My second favorite thing about dancing is watching other people dance. Because it's like, you get to see, you can just tell someone's personality by watching them dance. You can tell what they're like. You can tell, like, you just see them coming out through their movements. And it's like, especially if I dance with you, I'll know, by the end of the dance, I'll have an idea of what kind of person you are simply by dancing with you. I'll have an idea of what your personality is like without even talking to you. For whatever, I'll have an idea of what you're like as a person. It's so weird though. It's like, I don't know. It's got to be, I can't just, what is it about dancing that makes it that way? I think this has got to be the same thing about like our cavemen, because, you know, like back, either singing, cooking, dancing, they were all things that all cultures relate to. Making music, right? There's just something in the cavemen that since the beginning of time, it's always been there, no matter what. There was
also,
dancing.
When it comes to African culture and indigenous culture, a huge common denominator between the music, between the dancing, is it has to do with storytelling.
Yeah, the history. Right.
As opposed to European aspect, where you're able to write and collect these files. Everything for us was word of mouth. Yeah. So however myths and legends tend to alter over time is because they're literally getting passed down mouth to mouth. The only thing that tends to stay concrete are the dances. So whenever lyrics to music get changed, or notes to music get changed, or steps to dances get changed, that's an altering of a story, as if you were to write something out and change it to a different word. Yeah. So I think that's also a huge intimate part. It is storytelling, and that connection with another person, with a being, with your spirituality, with an entity. A lot of things in dancing, which is also something I admire so much about dancing, is a lot of the things like orishas, which orishas are like saints. So if you think about like Catholicism, and then instead of those saints, we'd have orishas or guerreros. And a lot of the praise dancing that is done to worship these entities come from those bases, or the essence of those movements. A lot of movements that we do in salsa and mambo derive from the basic forms of those steps. And when you look at those steps and you dance, certain rhythms are meant to call upon the energy or the essence of that specific entity. Oh. So what's so dope is that music on its frequency has so much to do with your emotions, the way you process things, the way you absorb things. Yeah. But it's not even just in African, indigenous, or Latin dance. Or Caribbean dancing. You look at like Middle Eastern practices, when you're in yoga and you're doing the frequency shit. Same with yoga. That's frequency, and they're meant to hit different parts of your chakras. So why wouldn't all music now do the same thing? So it makes sense, and a lot of indigenous people use certain rhythms and certain noises, certain sounds, whistles, clappe, for healing, because this frequency is to heal this part of your body. It makes sense. You also do it with chakras. So dancing, listening to music has such an effect on the way your body perceives your relationship with emotions, your relationship with coping, your relationship with food, your relationship with people. It has a lot to do with your chemical overload in your body. So frequency is so important for the way your body reacts chemically, because all of our emotions are chemical, and chemical overload can be really toxic in some shape or form. That's what drugs do. It's like they say, like, if your friend or somebody that you really care about is ignoring you, that it can replicate the same chemical reaction in your body as physical pain. So people die from broken hearts. They die from being emotional, depression, and it's toxic to your organs. It's toxic to your body. Imagine having that situation all the time. How healing could dancing be to that, because of the healthy frequencies that are being surrounded? Yeah. So it's pretty dope. It's crazy how many dots you can connect through dancing. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that I'll be doing it for the rest of my life. I don't think I'll ever stop.
I could be in a wheelchair and I'd still be fucking dancing.
It makes it. I know people that used to dance and they just stopped. It's like, How would you how would you ever stop doing this? I don't get it. Like, are you not addicted? Like, how would you just like? It's like, I mean, it's like doing crack and then just saying one day, hey, I'm done. It's like, what? Why? How? Like,
why would you stop
why would you?
smoking crack?
Why would you
what
stop?
The fuck?
No, you know what I meant. Like, it's like so good. It's like so good. It's just like, oh, it's so weird.
I mean, like, shrooms are dope. I smoke a fair amount of weed.
Yeah, you're a pothead. We get it. You're a drug addict. We get it.
Acid, though. Acid is the closest euphoria that I've ever experienced to dancing. And even then it still doesn't come, it still can't touch that.
Okay, I've never done acid, but I don't know how you compare acid to dancing.
I mean, like, kaleidoscopes, whoever the fuck invented kaleidoscopes, like, they were on some shit.
Oh, the little things that make colors?
That's what you see for like the first 3 hours on acid.
Terrifying, yeah. That, I don't think you understand.
Don't trip
that sounds,
if you know you're tripping.
That sounds terrifying. I don't think you understand. I would literally lose my mind because I would be paranoid if I started seeing that. Oh, it would not be.
I'm so fucking paranoid.
It would not be a
I
good time.
have so much anxiety.
Yeah, it would not be a good time.
If I could throw my head back and be like, "Let's go for a ride." You can too. If I could do it, you can too.
I don't think so. I think you're better. You're a stronger person than I.
I think they call it a trip.
I think you're a stronger person than I am.
It's
man.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'll never fucking do it again.
Yeah.
But it was phenomenal. Maybe in like a couple years.
So you just moved to Orlando? Do you like it out there? Do you miss us?
Well, we miss you. I definitely miss you.
Dude, the socials aren't the same, man. I mean, like I said, we don't have. I feel like ever since COVID, it's obviously died back, and I don't think it's come back to what it was. The scene isn't what it used to be, right? It makes me so sad.
Anywhere.
Like, I know, right? I think
Florida's the most poppin'.
I want to try this thing. I think the younger generation seems to be more into bachata, and it's like there's so many like remixes to modern songs. I think that the younger kids would be into English songs with bachata, you know, because I think kids just like, for whatever reason, I think it's easier and to dance bachata.
Also because they love the idea of being able to body roll.
Yeah. But here's the thing about, here's my problem with body rolls. I like body rolls. They look great. You have to, here's what people don't understand. The idea of a body roll is to be sexy, right? Be sensual. The problem with that is you better know what the fuck you're doing to do a body roll. Because if you're like just learning and you're not comfortable with yourself and you're awkward, a body roll looks awkward. If you don't know how to do a body roll.
I've gotten hurt more times being attempted with somebody attempting to lead me into a body roll than I have in salsa.
No, I'll barely do it. It makes me like, I'll do it, but I better like halfway through the song I'm like, okay, this girl actually knows how to dance, because otherwise the same thing you said. I'm not trying to throw her back out and like hurt her, but no, not trying to do that. But but yeah, is that what it is? I think but all the kids seem to be into bachata more. But I feel like we started having more socials, like bachata socials, especially
is that
younger.
iPhone charger up there?
Yeah, you got to charge your phone.
Yeah,
go plug it in.
Plug it in.
I forget the last part we ended on. We were talking salsa. Let's talk something else. Moving to Orlando. Do you having a good time out there? I always wanted to move into Miami, but it's way too expensive, dude. I mean,
it's the second most expensive.
I know. Other than New York, I'm assuming, or California?
New York, and then everywhere else in California falls after.
Yeah.
I love Orlando. I miss Houston like crazy.
We miss you.
The thing is, in Orlando, I haven't really got to experience it, even though I've lived there for 3 months, because I had to be in LA like 2 weeks every month that I've been living in Orlando, and then I've spent 1 week here every single month since I moved to Orlando. So technically I really only spend about a week or a week and a half in Orlando since I've lived there, so I haven't even really experienced it. So that's what I'm saying.
You're a traveling dance instructor. A dance instructor just stays in one spot. You're
a traveling dancer, but not traveling dance instructor. So even though I'm a dance instructor, I don't always travel for instruction. So a lot of times I travel to train or to work with the team.
Gotcha.
So it's not always in January, yes, though. But it's more so just professional dancer. It's pretty much what it is. But I do love Orlando, and I see so much potential. They have a strong bachata scene, but you have some people who dance traditional, but a lot of people who dance urban and sensual. And there
Dude,
is urban
sensuals,
really stronghold.
Urban sensual is the best way to do it. But the
salseros are actually really good.
Really?
It's like when I'm telling you, like Florida got their socials on lock, Orlando got their socials on lock. Like Orlando's socials are stupid. Like they're huge.
Oh, really?
They're how Houston used to be.
Yeah.
And you genuinely enjoy it. What I love is Salsa Heat. Shout out to Salsa Heat. Is Salsa Heat Social. They have one a month that is salsa based with some bachata, and they have one that's bachata based with some salsa.
Oh, okay.
So whichever crowd really gets to go, and either way, they're usually always packed anyways.
Yeah.
And in Miami, I mean, there's a place to go salsa dancing.
Yeah. That's the thing I think. Houston, the thing is, there's the nights that have salsa dancing. We can't go every night, you know. There's not a place on Mondays, or there's not a place on Wednesdays. There's not a place on Sundays like there used to be either. And that's the thing that's really sad.
There's some places that have like a Latin night, but Latin night's gonna be more like dembow, reggaeton, merengue.
Yeah, that's not fun. I ain't going anywhere to dance. But also because not as many
dancers are going out anymore in Houston.
Yeah, that's true.
The more dancers and the more the DJs are gonna be like, oh, well,
it needs to come back.
So many more people.
I want to try to host a night somewhere. I think I would get a place and host a night, play bachata.
Do it.
But anyways, the other thing I wanted to get to, because I tell everybody this, is that you're insane, but also your family's insane, and your family has one of the craziest stories I think I've ever heard in my life. And I don't even know if it's true. I don't even know like what to believe, because it sounds absolutely in fucking insane. And I thought my family was crazy, which they are, but I think you taught me, homie. I think you taught me. You think a little bit.
Feel better.
Yeah. And then, I tell people this all the time. The first time I saw your dad, I go, that might be one of the scariest people I've ever seen in my life. He'll
fucking cut you.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's people that you see and you're like, there's people you don't mess with, right? He's one of those people you see and like, that guy's been to prison and he will kill you. That's the kind of guy.
Facts to both.
Yeah, I know, but he's got the look. He's got the crazy look at it. It's like the same thing with Latin women, you know. It's like you gotta know that lady will punch you. It's the same thing with your dad. It's like you gotta know that guy is gonna cut you. Same thing, you know.
Just don't fuck with him, and you'll be good.
Yeah. So tell me about your family, man. Tell me about your mom, gangster ass mom, and your gangster ass dad.
So there, for legality reasons, there's very few things that I can touch on in terms of my parents.
No, it's gotta be without the, what is it called? Without the 10 years or past, you know, what is it called? Out of, not warranty, but you know what I'm saying? The statute of limitations got to be passed. It's got to be passed.
Actually, no.
Oh, really? Not for everything?
My dad, yeah.
My dad, yeah, my
mother.
Okay, for legal reasons, we will not say names.
Let's just say that my mom's a fucking G, and she's the sweetest thing that you ever thought that you met. Just don't fuck with her. Back in the day, though, from what I heard in the dancing scene, don't approach my mom.
Really?
Yeah.
What would she do to you?
It's just like. She was not the one to fuck with. She was not the one to just try to come up and say hi to. Like, she was a sweetheart, but let her choose to, like, come up to you.
Wait, that's weird. She would always ask the guys.
Back then, it was, like, do or die shit. My mom lived a life of having to survive.
From Puerto Rico?
No, my mom's from Houston, actually.
She's from Houston?
So, she's, like, she dealt with one hell of a life. So she's just like, she's not the one to fuck with. As opposed to my dad ended up in a situation, but he wasn't born into a situation, if that makes sense. Yeah. My mom was born into some shit. So she didn't really have a choice. She just had the hand that she had, and she had to figure it the fuck out. But my dad just ended up in some shit because he's so atrevido and he's fucking crazy. But also he's a mathematician. He's ADHD like me, but he has a photographic memory. He's a fucking genius. But the thing is, with genius comes boredom and manic, and you're just curious to get into all kinds of shit because you can, and because he's smart and learns things so quickly. He was also a fighter, and it was a lot for him. So he ended up getting recruited into special forces, and he says that he wish he would have chose like prison over that.
Prison over special forces? Yeah. Wasn't over the special forces. Wait, Puerto Rico has special forces?
What do you mean does Puerto Rico?
I don't know. They weren't. Well, it's part of the U.S. now. So when did
It's been part of the U.S.
So your dad was part of the special forces in the U.S.
My dad is second generation military.
Have you ever seen
my grandfather fought in the war?
Have you ever seen military photos of your dad?
Yes, I have military photos of my dad.
That's crazy.
It was when he was beautiful.
Why did he go to prison? Can you say that?
No.
You can't say why he went to prison?
No.
How long was he in prison for?
I don't know. It wasn't the first time.
This is crazy. How long has he been out of prison? Can you tell me that?
Well, I don't know the last time he went to jail. Prison and jail and county.
What, do you not know when your dad goes to jail? My dad goes to jail. I feel like I have an idea.
I visited my dad in jail, but like prison is different. Prison and county are two different things. I've seen my dad in county plenty of times, but I never visited him if he was in prison. But I know he's been in jail multiple times.
Can you see yourself in that frame? Are you still in that frame?
Yeah, I can see
Okay, just making sure.
Okay, yeah, I'm on the opposite.
Okay,
yeah.
Just making sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, talking to daddy across, like, plexiglass.
How old were your parents when you were born?
When I was born, my dad was in his early 20s. My mom was probably, like, 17 or 18 years old.
How do you not know this? I know exactly how old my mom was. 20 when I was born.
My mom's probably, like, 43.
How do you probably not know your mom's age?
She doesn't even remember. She forgot how old she was.
This is not a thing. Your mom has to have
it's on purpose.
Your mom has to have a birth. Yeah, exactly. Your mom has to have a birth certificate.
I mean,
whatever.
Like, I'm not the parent, so I'm not usually the one digging up social documents.
What's the age gap between you and your little brother?
My little brother, 20 years.
That's so crazy to me.
And I have a little sister too.
A younger one than that, your little brother?
Yeah, my dad decided he wanted to make a competition to make another one.
Your mom had, if your brother's, how old is your brother?
5. He just turned 5.
Your mom has to be past, or like dangerously close to 40 years old to have a kid.
She's past 40 years old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The cutoff should be 40. You know that, right?
What do you mean?
They have more complications. The older you get, the harder it is to have a baby.
Her late 30s when she had him, and there's people who are 50 years old and had a baby. It's just society.
What's your craziest memory of your parents? Tell me.
Damn, I'm trying to think. There's so many, but they're typically like violent.
Yeah, let's hear the violent ones. Yeah. Do you not like talking to them about them? They make you nervous?
I've seen someone bash someone else's face in. That shit was crazy.
What? That sounds like...
My parents are really aggressive people.
Yeah, I got that. You know what the crazy thing is? Your mom, when I talked to your mom on the phone, she sounded like such a sweetheart. She sounded like... I know, it sounded so weird.
The thing. Not necessarily just that they're aggressive. Aggressive with purpose. They're very passionate people.
Passionate's the word.
They're extremely passionate people, and they're so full of love. It's just... And here's the issue that I have, because I didn't have an example on how to cope with shit. And this is... I always talk about how, like, my disabilities make me a better dancer, but everything that handicaps me from everything else in life provides me with the foundation that I need to be successful in dancing. I feel like emotionally ridiculous because I have very few gray areas in any way, in the way that I think, in the way that I see, in the way that I feel. And I understand that gray areas do exist in a multitude of things, but my perception of it is minute, especially in the way that I process. So I'm so emotional that I'm not sad. I'm fucking depressed. I'm not angry. I'm fucking furious, and I'm going to burn your fucking house down. I'm not happy. I'm ecstatic, so excited that I want to cry when I see you because I'm so happy. And I'm not proud of you. Like, I want you to touch the fucking moon. I'm not laughing. I'm going to get a fucking 6-pack from how funny this shit is. It's really difficult for me to just feel emotions at a normal level. So I've always struggled with large emotions and big emotions, extreme emotions. And processing that's always been difficult since I was little. Because my anxiety, my panic, my paranoia, that means that all of that is at a high too. So I also don't manage stress very well.
Yeah.
And my mom doesn't either. My dad doesn't either. And it's taken a long time for them to manage. But my mother never had an example and had an extremely traumatic life. And my dad ended up with traumatic experiences, but also triggered a lot of mental illness. So he's schizophrenic, multi-personality disorder, and he is ADHD and bipolar. So the way he functions, absorbs things, is at an extremity. So that chemical reaction that your body creates from so many emotions is really toxic to the body. And not being able to regulate them is really dangerous. And the only thing that has benefited me is in dancing, because I'm really animated and I'm really expressive. So as a social dancer, as a performer, as a teacher, the way I converse with people, that's benefited me in that realm. Everywhere else in life that I felt like it docked me down, it built me up in dancing. Yeah. So I think, to your last question, I think that's one of the number one reasons why I love dancing so much. It's like everything that made me like fucked up is what gears me towards the possibility of being a phenomenon in dancing. So it's pretty dope. Dancing completely flips the script. Yeah. And I think that's why I love it.
It's weird. You know what I was thinking about? I was like, where would you be without it?
Dead.
Dead? Yeah.
Dead. Me? Dead.
No, I remember I met you. Trust me. I mean, I'm wild too. I like to have a good time. I remember I met you. I was like, that girl is crazy. I still, everybody.
You still
No,
love me,
I told the people I told you I was doing a podcast. I was like, yeah, she come. I'm doing a podcast with my friend. Yeah, she's crazy. Y'all are gonna enjoy her. She's out of her goddamn mind. Nah, but you've come down a lot compared relatively. This is calm down version.
I've had a lot more access to God's herbs.
Oh Jesus.
And I've danced a lot more.
Yeah.
So it occupies my time. So I have purpose and I have passion and I have intention. And when I wake up, the entire point of me sleeping at all is to be better at dancing, to heal my body for dancing. The entire reason that I try to eat cleaner, and when I'm not eating clean, that I'm trying to enjoy my food, is for the sake of dancing. The only reason why I do anything is for the sake of dancing. If it doesn't have to do with dancing, it's very rare that I can find a purpose behind something. And most of the people that I give a flying fuck about, I'm at dancing. So it's a huge
Mwah. Mwah. All right, final question. We've been talking an hour. Yeah, you believe that? It's been an hour. Final question. What's the end game? What do you want to do? What was your goal?
In dancing?
Yeah, in dancing. What would you, if you could have the ultimate, no matter what, and this is me at the end, what would you be?
I want to heal a community.
Heal a community.
And specifically minority communities. I'm Afro-Latin or Afro-Taina and Afro-Taina. And so what's really difficult for me is seeing, like, there's so many different arguments about, well, poor people are poor, broke people are broke because they want to be. Or they're stuck where they're at because they want to be, because everybody has a choice. Does everybody have a choice? Absolutely. Does everybody know that they have a fucking choice? Absolutely not. And so my parents, and what I noticed and what it came a long time for me to realize, is very few of the choices, speaking mainly for my mother here, very few of the choices were a la fuck it. Very few of the choices were because this is the easy way out and I don't give a fuck and I'm just going to do what I want because this is all that I'm going to work for. A lot of the choices came from they didn't know any better and this is what they could do. They tried their best. So you do your best, you try your best because it's your best. And when you know better, your best gets better. So if you know better, do better. It took a long time for them to really learn better because the example wasn't there.
Right.
The learning wasn't there. And the opportunity to be educated on what choices even are and what they look like, how to understand that this is an opportunity, that education wasn't there. And my mom dropped out of school at 14 years old. So, and she had to run away from home, or she got kicked out. So she didn't have a childhood, nor did she really get to have an adulthood. And so when she's experiencing freedom for the first time, when she's experiencing euphoria for the first time, it doesn't seem like it's irresponsible. It doesn't seem like it's something combative. It seems like this is a part of life that everybody gets to experience. I get to experience this. You don't realize that that should have been a part of your childhood, and therefore that's why this is resonating as deeply as it is right now. So when you go towards left or right, and left being this negative thing, then that is a learning experience. You got to bust your ass 99 times before you figure out on the 100th that you're capable of getting up. But you have to know that there's 100th. You have to know that there's 99 possibilities in the first place. And when you don't know that, you don't know which way to step. You just keep stepping with what looks familiar because you think that's the only route. When in reality, there's so many other routes that you can take. But you don't know any better, so how do you do better? And I think that's what happens so much in society, where there's people who are considered lesser in the community. There's lower income communities. There's minority communities. All these communities that need healing because there's systematic shit that's going down specifically to keep them in that line, specifically to keep them ignorant about the fact that there is another option and that it's feasible and what the steps are to be able to take hold of those opportunities. And I think dancing's a huge ordeal that connects a lot of dots, or has the potential to connect a lot of dots, to really get people to connect dots for themselves and experience what opportunities and choices look like, feel like, and bring them to reality. If I go to the projects and the number one people that I'm going to see in these projects in the States are going to be African American people. Now, African American people, Latino people, Hispanics, a lot of our communities are really aggressive. We deal with a lot of gang violence. We have to deal with the hood. We got to deal with drugs, whether it be in or out of the home. We deal with the lesser education. And that's really stressful. And we're always going to talk shit to kids and be like, you're so young. What the fuck do you know about stress? A 4-year-old knows about stress. A newborn knows about stress because it creates a chemical overload on their body. You're no one to say what doesn't stress someone. It's their own process and their own experience. Unfortunately, a lot of their own experiences are mayhem and toxic and chaos and manic in their households, in their schools, on the streets, and every walk in between destination. And all they see is drugs, money, being able to get this, not being able to have that, aggression, beating this person up, violence. It's nonstop. So educate them on another choice then, and make it accessible. Because even when homeboy knows that the way to get out might be to dribble a ball, to throw a ball, even if he's good, his family can't afford the fucking cleats. Mm-hmm. So because you don't got money, you don't get the choice that you found out about. So how do I take advantage of the opportunity to get the fuck out if getting the fuck out depended on me having money? So that's really difficult to deal with. So putting programs in place that allow people who want to take advantage of these opportunities to be able to without a financial burden is important. Finding programs that can educate these communities on these programs and that can actually help pull these people into these programs is vital to healing a community. Dancing kept me alive. I didn't give a fuck about jack shit until I started dancing. Skateboarding and dancing was all I wanted to do, and dancing won above everything because I had a passion, I had a purpose, I had a sense of community, I had a family, and I felt safe. And so it didn't matter how many times I could go sell drugs and be a mule in school, because best believe me, I could have been stupid rich in high school selling drugs with how much crack, cocaine, weed, bars everybody was doing. And it was happening right in front of me, like candy. And house parties, everybody was getting fucked up. And I was one of the few people that wasn't doing drugs and drinking whenever I was at high school parties. And so it was really trippy to me, but I didn't realize that. And so what I think about is dancing can regulate your nervous system, right? And regulating your nervous system can help you with coping with your anxiety, with depression. It can give you a sense of community if you're in a program with other people. Not only that, we're struggling in a space where people are struggling with their identity, whether because we have so many mixed races like me. If you look at my dad, you're just like, okay, yeah, that looks right. You look at my mom, you're like, I don't know if that looks right, because my mom is Filipino Puerto Rican. She looks very Filipino. My dad is Puerto Rican, but his grandfather was Nigerian. He looks Nigerian. My dad is a big chocolate man. My mom's a little yellow woman. So it gets really confusing having me beside one or the other. And so I struggled with my identity. Dancing helped me learn more about my culture, get in touch with my culture, with my spirituality, with my history, both on the indigenous and the African side. And so the beauty of that is you can bring something to where you get to experience culture, history, and identity, and show the Latino and the African American community that they're not so different. You bring a community together, you heal them, you help identity, you help with nervous system, being able to regulate that, assisting your anxiety and depression. Not only that, you give an opportunity to build a passion and a hobby. And when you build a hobby that you're that passionate about, you can see it as a potential for a career. Maybe this is what you want to do for the rest of life. You get so curious, you start looking into how the fuck can you? And you start spending your time here in the dance studio with your dance peers, as opposed to out on the street doing drugs and partying and doing this, gang violence, who knows what. And all the shit that's going down in your house, maybe you start pushing through it because you want to get the fuck out and you found a way out. Not only that, there's no financial burden there, so you know that you really do have a choice. Not only that, you got people right in front of you telling you that you have a choice and that they're willing to help you. And I think that's the number one thing that I could do with dancing.
That's great. That's so much deeper than I would have ever expected. That's so much deeper than I would have expected. I was like, I got nothing to say to that after that. Like, yeah, that's perfect. Wow, that's a beautiful thing to want to do.
A dancer is like the lowest valued artist.
Yeah, they really, I mean, they're one of the, I mean, all artists are undervalued, you know, but like, where would we all be without, I mean, think about how plain and how ugly this world would be without any art. Like, any art, cooking,
and the earth is fucking
comedy. I mean,
it's just how wild that the work just keeps giving all this beautiful shit no matter how much we fuck it up.
Yeah.
And even with things that we fuck it up, we manage to find beauty in it as well. Yeah. And I think art has so many different forms, and I feel like the whole starving artist situation needs to stop. I'm fucking tired of it.
Yeah, me too, homie. Nah, I'm just kidding.
So it's like have to have another career to hopefully be able to pursue your passion.
Yeah.
Why can't your passion be your career, and why can't you try that the first time around?
Hey man,
why is it irresponsible?
Yeah, you're doing it. I mean, it's ballsy. You're out there doing it, you know?
But also, I feel like psychologically, therapists, psychologists, there's no one that said, oh, you're dancing Afro-Cuban, you're dancing salsa, you're dancing rumba, you're dancing bomba y plena. Let me put these wires on you, and I want to see the chemical change in your body so that I can prove that this is something that can be useful for therapy. Yoga's finally there. Yoga can be prescribed just as medicine.
Yeah.
What if we can prescribe dance programs?
Right.
What if a dancer is accessible to institutions to step in and help people?
Right.
Because of a friend of mine, Chris Fahey, he brought me into VA where I was able to volunteer for a couple of weeks to teach people with PTSD how to dance. Imagine instead of counting windows, you're counting steps now. Instead of wondering if someone's trying to grab a weapon, you're looking at it as a signal for dancing. To be able to look somebody in the eye, to be able to touch another human being and not feel defensive or scared, that level of trust is something outside of just euphoria that you get to experience with dancing. It's figuring out how to feel like you're a civilian again, figuring out how to feel like, yes, you're human again, figuring out how to regulate your emotions again. And that's a really difficult thing to do when you've experienced something traumatic, or if you've never had an example of what healthy coping is in the first place. Mm-hmm. And that's most of us. Mm-hmm. And we all got hella issues. We all need some kind of therapy. And how phenomenal it would be if we could make a dancer reputable enough to work hand in hand with psychologists, with scientists, with therapists, and say, your art is capable of healing people. Let's put on paper that, yes, let's prescribe this instead of medication. Yeah. This is your new medicine. You're going to dance and you're going to get better. And I think it's absolutely possible that can definitely be put into people's health program.
Oh, I agree 100%. I mean, to end on this, to add on the feedback on what you said, I think, especially with young men, I think it teaches you how to take care of someone else while you're dancing. You know, it teaches you how to be gentle. It teaches you how to be a leader, how to bring out the best in someone else while at the same time trying to bring out the best in you, and how to take care of someone, and how to learn about someone on a level that has nothing to do with a sexuality. It has something to do with just be a good person. Let's be in this together right now. Let's be in this community together. I definitely think and it's weird because like young men, think I don't want to, they'll hip hop dance, but when you dance, to better or less like a girly dance, to describe it, I think it could help so many young men, and it teaches you. It's almost like karate. It's except it's the exact opposite. Karate teaches you discipline and how to protect yourself, right?
Yeah.
Dancing teaches you discipline and how to protect someone else. It's like the exact opposite, but they both, to me, they almost go hand in hand. You're learning body movement, you're learning discipline, you're learning how to predict what someone's gonna do. It's so crazy. There's so many correlating overlays between fighting someone and dancing with someone. To me, it's crazy. They're so closely, other than these yeah we were doing it wrong.
We got some bows.
Yeah, but on that note, we've been doing this for a time. That's our time. So I had a great time. I felt like it was great. We had to do it again. I feel like we have more to talk. We had to do it again, right? Yeah. Where can people find you?
On Instagram, since I'm never in one city long enough.
What's your Instagram handle?
Yayita, YAYITA _ Marie, MARIE.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.